What's good, people? I'm Jay Dillon, owner of TMT Agency, and over the past 4 years, I've generated tens of millions of dollars for creators on OnlyFans. In that time, I've also helped create multiple Instagram accounts with 100k followers plus, generating over 1 billion views in 2025 alone. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I 7x'd one of our creators' earnings within 60 days. And if you follow everything you see in this video, you can too. Right, so the first thing we did is break down the direction of this model's marketing, okay? And what we found is that she wasn't creating a lot, she was just copying. Now, people get those, mixed up a lot because, yeah, you are creating content, but if you're just copying off what someone else did and it worked for them, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And this is the endless cycle that a lot of creators find themselves in, where they've got nothing that actually stands out from themselves. They've got no brand, they've got no niche. It's just a bunch of random viral trends that aren't going viral for you, that went viral for like Sophie Rain or Camilla. Yeah, that works well for them. That's their brand. It's very hard it's impossible to copy someone's brand. So this is what this model was doing at the start. She was just copying loads of trends, which is good. It's a good sign for us because it shows that you're hardworking and you're trying to go viral. You just don't know how. And what we realized is she needs to be creating content that is on brand. This took us 2 weeks. Okay, so out of the 60 days, right, out of the 8 weeks, the first 2 weeks was finding out what is her actual brand. Now, this only happens if you actually post content that you actually want to post that is on brand with what you want to be perceived as. So the first 2 weeks was just jumping on the cover, finding out what interests and hobbies, and then getting creative around that, and then creating something that, goes viral around stuff that she already enjoys, okay? So creating, not copying. Systemizing content creation. This is a big one. So in the social media world, what you need to try and think about is you need to get as much content out there as possible, but it needs to be high quality content, okay? If you are posting, if you are creating a system to where you are constantly pushing out high volume of content that is good quality, it is impossible for you not to go viral. Does that make sense? It's impossible for you not to get results. This is something that is huge when it comes to traffic, because the system behind creating content isn't actually just 3, 2, 1 record. It's everything around it. It's the actual ideation of it. It's the actual like setup. When does the model record? Does she record once a week? Does she record twice a week? What are those days? And what does she need to record on those days? How many? All of that stuff. And then once the content is recorded, how does it get pushed out to people? Where does it get posted? How many times? All that stuff. We built a system. We have systems for every single creator that we work with because everyone's schedules are different, everyone's content styles are different. We figured this out for this model, and that is something that was a big change because she had none of that. She would just wake up, look at some viral trends, copy those, and that was her done for the day. But now she has 1 or 2 days a week where she knows she's got these X, Y, and Z videos to create that are on brand with her, and her life is a lot better, and she actually gets a lot more results just by changing that. So the last thing that we did when it comes to marketing direction is double down on the working verticals. So this is very data based because you need to look at the videos that you are already posting and the videos that you are trying to post now and have a look at what is working well, do more of that. What isn't working well, do less of that. Week on week, improve that, and you're only going to know if you look at the data, if you look at the watch time, replay time, how many views you're getting, the hook of the video, how many people, at what point do people swipe off at. This is where you will understand what your verticals are working best for you and what you should double down on. Right, now this might sound a little bit boring, but it's very, very, very important, right? The importance of actual data, right? You can't master what you don't measure, okay? If you don't track, you simply don't care. Now, I get it. It's very boring looking at numbers and doing all this stuff, but this stops you making decisions based off emotion and decisions based off data, because data literally does not lie to you, okay? These are the few things that we measured, okay? Then this is the few things that we do measure for everyone at the agency, and I recommend you, if you're an OnlyFans creator watching this, you to do the same, okay? Median views per vertical, link clicks, click to sub, views to sub, LTV, which is like lifetime value of your fans, specific content sold, mass message view / buy rates, okay? Now, it's important that you know all this, and when it comes to data, we've been doing this for 4 years, okay? So we've got 4 years of all of this. We've got 4 years of what a good click to sub should be. We've got 4 years of what a good, amount of link clicks should be, good LTV, mass message buy rate, all that stuff. And this is why this is important, right? Because how we actually use this for this model is we understood that because we're tracking the medians, the median views per vertical, we understood that there's one that is like flying way higher than the rest. So straight away that gave us actionable steps, not based off emotion, based off data, that we should probably stop doing all the other verticals and focus on that one that is clearly standing out based off this that we measured, right, based off the data. We said, right, okay, let's just double down on what's actually working well and get rid of all the other ones, because like you're putting all this time and effort into creating all these other verticals. If you just put all that time and effort into this one vertical that is already performing way better than the other ones, you're gonna get way more results, right? And we did the exact same with the click to sub. I can't remember exactly what the click to sub was. It would have been like near 1, which if your click to sub is near 1. So how you measure that is very simple. Measure how many clicks you're getting on your link, and then how many from those clicks are subscribing. It's the easiest thing ever, okay? If it's anywhere near 1, you're in trouble, okay? This model was near 1, bumped her up to 2. I think we've got an agency standard of 2, which is very good. And how we did that is a simple funnel, and we made sure it was brand fitting. Now I spoke about this in a lot of detail in the previous videos, but this is something that, because we track data, and I'm not speaking to my creator saying, I feel like you should do this, I feel like this would work for you. I'm saying, I'm looking at the data, and it clearly shows that your click to sub is not good, so we can change that for you, and we can clearly see that this one vertical that you have is performing way better than everything else you're doing, so probably stop doing that and just do more of this. It's as simple as that. It sounds boring, but this is where the fortune is, okay? It's in the data that you are not tracking. Right, so now we've spoke about the marketing direction, we've spoke about the importance of data. Now we're going to talk about the back end stuff. We're going to get into the trenches, because we're talking about the chats and how you understand plus retain your fans, okay? So there's 5 key steps to do this, and 5 key steps that we do with all of our creators. We understand what content they like. We understand how to personalize chats, how to minimize superficial chats, quality chatting, and showcase personality, okay? Let's go into this a little bit more detail. So content they like. This is pretty simple, right? You need to just ask them about their preferences. So if you are chatting to a fan, if it's a new fan especially, you can just ask them questions like, if I was with you right now, what would you want me doing? Anything that is kind of provocative, that's going to get them, telling you exactly what they want. And now, if you are not writing this down in notes of the fans, right? So I don't know if you use a CRM like Inflow or even the actual OF page, you can write notes for these fans. So this is where you need to know his name, his job, his pets, everything you can possibly know about these people. Write this down, right? Because this is important when it comes to personalizing chats, because you need to reference the past chats. So like, let's say you're speaking to John from Leeds, right? But he's going to Manchester for the weekend. Now Monday's hit, you can ask him about Manchester, that he's just went, how was it? How did it go? What did you get up to? Whatever. Because again, you're trying to separate yourself from everyone else that these fans are also talking to. It's very naive to think that this one fan that is on your account, he's only subbed to you. He's subbed to hundreds of other models, okay? Not just you. So you need to understand how you can stand out. And this is a very good way. If you don't take notes, it's going to be very hard for you to remember hundreds of fans, where they're from, what their names are, what their ages are. Birthdays are a big one. If on birthdays, right, if you send them like a freebie, they always end up spending more on the nighttime, because like no one else is doing that for them, okay? So personalizing chats, you need to reference past chats. Minimizing superficial chats, like the conversations where it's just like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Are you okay? Like that's boring. Like if you need to have you need to stop all the obviously that's important at the start, but you need to just get to know them as a person. Stop having superficial, hey, how you doing? More so, hey John, did you take your dog Lenny for a walk today? Whatever, some random shit, right? That's going to equal fans. The more you know these people, the more they're going to be invested in you, and the more they're going to invest their wallet into you, okay? Now, with quality chatting, you need to create a story, okay? So this is like the sexting scripts that you have. The best way to do this is like, if I was in a hotel room with you right now, what would you do? And then they're thinking of you being in a hotel room, and then all of a sudden, if you have a script of the model in a hotel room where she's saying, oh, I'm in a hotel room right now, what would you do if you was with me right here? The first picture is her in a hotel room by herself. That now makes the fan believe that I'm actually speaking to this model and I'm invested in the story of her being in this hotel room, or wherever it may be, right? You can have multiple, you can have shower ones, bedtime ones, Netflix ones, whatever it is, but it has to be a story. Don't look at it as just like a sexting script that you're going to quickly make a fan believe it. You have to set it up by, understanding where is the fan, right? Does the fan understand where I am, or where does the fan think I am? All of this stuff is important when it comes to quality chatting, because a lot of these fans, like I said before, when they're speaking to these other models, these chatters, right? All these people are just like, hey, superficial chat, hey, how you doing? Guess what I made last week? It's like, that's not going to work, right? You're competing against people that are creating stories, getting to know these people as, you know, as actual people, finding out, you know, referencing past chats, asking personalized questions, understanding the content they like. And then when you can make a script about it and create a story that maybe, you can go into so much detail with this, but if you can just do the basics of, if you can just create multiple stories in your vault and then just use them as much as you possibly can, that's gonna massively increase the sales you're getting, but it's also gonna retain the fans that you are bringing in. Now, personality, right? This is a form of connection. The more, again, personality can tie in with the story that your model's trying to create. So it needs to be on brand, continuity of, I struggle to say that, right? You need to continue your brand from your socials all the way down to the chats, okay? Because this is what this fan knows you for. If this fan knows you're a girl next door, but then the minute he subscribes, you send him a full menu list of the most filthiest things ever, he's going to be pretty confused. But if you keep that, you know, if you keep that brand in the chats with personality, tie all this together, you're going to form a connection with more whales than you've ever known were even there. I'll guarantee you right now, if you're an OnlyFans creator, there's probably a dozen whales in your chats right now that are getting hit with the, hey man, how you doing? You good? Like, this is all they say all day. There's no connection. They're never involved, invested in a story. None of these models actually know that person as an actual person, right? No one ever references a past chat, and no one actually cares about what they want. So if you can do any one of these, you're already doing better. Combine all of them, you're going to understand your fans and you're going to retain them, and you're going to keep them spending as whales, and that is what we want. Right, so I'm actually going to go into the personalized chatting into a little bit more detail, because these are the two main things that you need to make sure that you can master to personalize your chatting. Right, first of all, why does this matter again? I know I just literally just spoke about this, but you need to think about every fan that you're talking to as if that fan's also talking to 10 other models, because they most likely are, okay? So you need to stand out, and the best way that we have found to do this is by voice notes, and like I said before, note taking. I can't speak today. Note taking, okay? So with the voice notes, again, they're all pre-recorded. We send all of our models all the voice notes that they need to send for any particular scenario, any kind of story that we find works well. They're already pre-recorded. We just send them across to our models, but this is how we use them, okay? So we use them at the start. If we want to start a conversation, right, this helps us take control of the convo flow, okay? There's nothing worse than like sending a huge mass message of just a conversation starter, like, hey man, how you doing? And no one replies. But a voice note, everyone's going to at least try and listen to that, right? At least they want to know what you're saying, because they don't know it's pre-recorded. Okay, so that immediately helps us take control of the convo flow, right? Transition, right? Again, from casual of hey, how you doing, to sexual, which is where we make the money. A voice note is an amazing way to do that, okay? Sexting, again, explicit to enhance the fan's experience. If a guy's already buying content and he's already loving it and all this good stuff, and you just send a voice note in there, you can actually charge for these voice notes. We're selling voice notes for like $100, $150, $200. I'll try and put some screenshots up if I've got any right now, but they work really well, especially when it's in the middle of a sexting script, because this is when the fan is the most impulsive, when they're gonna buy whatever it is, because they're so invested in the story that you are telling them. That's only going to be improved by voice notes. And aftercare, so this is after like a fan spent maybe 100, 200 on you. The aftercare is where the fan will leave with like a positive experience, because you have to also understand, right? Yeah, they might want to buy this content, but after they've bought it, they probably sat by themselves looking at the seed and just thinking, what have I just done? Yeah. But if you send them a voice note, that's like an aftercare, leaves the fan, you know, thinking, oh, she actually cares, she also had fun, or whatever it is, right? It just leaves the fan with a more positive experience of what he's just done. So he's going to be more likely to do it again and again and again, because he thinks you actually care about him, which we all know you don't, okay? Note, why can't I say note? Note taking, right? More info, the better. Like I said before, right? Name, job, age, location, all of this stuff you need to know, because then we can actually start personalizing voice notes based to your like if you get to a point where you have like 10, 15, 20 whales, like some of our creators do, we find out, right, what are these whales actually all interested in, go into them into specifics. So John, for example, he spent 2K this week. Let's just make some voice notes just for him for these particular scenarios and these stories, these scripts, and that works insanely well. But that only happens if you actually take notes, right? If you don't track down or write down anywhere on Inflow or on OnlyFans or whatever CRM you use, you're not going to like get as much out of these fans, because they're just going to think it's just some every other model that he's already speaking to, because no one else remembers this stuff. So if you do send voice notes and you actually remember the stuff you talk about with these fans, you're going to stand out and you're going to make a lot more money in your chats from your fans. Right, so now the last segment of this video, and it's all about understanding viral concepts. I'm going to explain what all this is, and then I'm going to explain how we applied this to our model. So why content goes viral, first of all, right? It's all about retention, okay? You need to understand, let's look at social media like it's a business, because that's exactly what it is. And let's take Facebook, Meta, for example, as they are the biggest. What do they actually care about? They only care about retention. Again, they are a business. How do they make their money? They make their money through showing people ads, essentially, okay? So if your content is keeping people on the platform, Instagram is going to reward you and push that content out to more people, because that content is keeping people on the platform, allowing Meta to show more ads to that person. Does that make sense? So how we do that is through our TMT viral format, right, called the HRR. We've basically branded our own, because I've had to say this so many times to people that don't know what this is. Hook, retention, reward. Okay, so the hook is the first millisecond of your video. Okay, if someone swipes off straight away, that doesn't count as a view, right? That originally is your views. Okay, so any kind of viral video, they have a good hook, okay? And to have a good hook, you need to trigger emotion. This is what gets people to stop. If your content doesn't make people feel anything, they're not gonna feel the need to watch that content, because they can just swipe onto the next, onto the next, onto the next. Just watch anyone on TikTok. They don't give a TikTok half a second, right? They just keep swiping, so you need to trigger emotion, okay? And then the retention, the middle part of the video, this is where you need to kind of, you've already got their attention in the hook. Now you need to keep that attention by either building curiosity or like a predictability, where they either think they know what's going to happen or they don't know what's happening, which is why they're curious to watch what happens till the end. Okay, and then the reward, you reward them with something that they want to see again. Okay, so maybe in this case, if it's like the model might have flashed or something like that, this is where the fan will want to watch the video again, right? And then this will improve the replay time. Okay, so the hook are your original views. The retention is the actual watch time of the video, and then the reward is the replays. All three of these combined is what makes a video viral. And when you actually understand this, you can start planning, and you can start, scripting your videos, the ideas that you have. You can, the videos that you are creating, you need to look at it like this way. What is the hook of your video that you are creating? What's the retention? What's the reward, right? And if it, you think you can, if you look at it like in segments, like 3 different parts of the video, you can then start tweaking it and start getting really, detailed, and start refining your content to where it goes viral every single time. Okay, and we did this with our model because she was, again, creating loads of content, but it wasn't in the viral format. It was a bad hook, bad watch time, bad replays, and then we realized, do you know what? There's none of this is actually in any of these videos. So then what we did is, down to her niche, we looked at her brand, we looked at the content that she actually wanted to create, and then we just applied this exact same viral format to her style of content. And this is exactly how she went viral straight away and got the results she did. Also, if you're a model and you're watching everyone else just go viral, and you're posting content, right? You're creating content, you're posting content, you're being consistent, and nothing's working for you, this is probably what is going wrong. So now you can either do an audit of your own content, or we are more than happy to do that for you as well. If you want that, just message me on my Instagram. It's just probably somewhere in the description down below. If not, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you actually found some actionable steps to help you, scale your account. That is all for this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.